The question is, about the body. About the body. And the experience is the thoughts and the emotional waves losing their power and being able to be received somehow.
Losing their power, did you say?
Like the control or the hook, like that the wave occurs and there's just like this love receiving. But then the wave of the body, when sickness and cold and belly and things, there's all of a sudden the body feels dense or more real than it has in quite a long time. And so, just the heart yearning to receive the body.
Yes.
That makes sense.
The body-mind is one mechanism, and it's all you working hard to remind you of you. And so when the belly is hurting, or some sickness is coming, something is very strongly being washed out. An infection has to come, a fever has to really rage in order to clean out that infection. So let it do its job. Is the silence of your being having a fever? Okay. The body is not your enemy. Allow it to feel in all of its detail. You won't feed it by allowing it to feel. Not when you're looking from here. Let everything be heightened at this time. That urgency for truth is enough in you. It floods out of you. But have patience. Urgency does not mean a rush. It simply means it's now. You're ripe and ready. Nothing can escape. That's urgency. You're not actually being allowed to miss a detail of yourself. That's going under the microscope. And certain aspects of this one will come to the fore. Yes, if you imagine your psyche in a petri dish underneath that microscope, and certain aspects of it will get dye onto it to really bring it to the surface and see it. And you can really look. But you're not in it in the same way. At the same time, when everything is so heightened, sometimes you're just going to have to let the fever burn. Let it do its job.
There's an awareness of this resistance or fear as it comes, like this, like bracing against it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the mind somehow feels that it's wrong. It doesn't want to hurt. Can you feel that pain and say thank you? I know this medicine is a bitter pill, but it is medicine. It's for my good. Because what that hurt is doing, it's rooting out the one who can be hurt. And the only way to do that is to go into that hurt. Give it its voice. Whatever's been locked deep inside, all those hidden corners of your psyche. You begin with the conscious ones, and then of course you have to dig at the unconscious layers. They come. Be willing to hurt. Go through the fire. The one who says, oh no, but I shouldn't hurt, it's not this way, is second-guessing love. It's saying, no, you've got it wrong, love. What grace that you're burning right now.
Yeah, it is.
You see, from this perspective, nothing is wrong as such. Nothing is bad. There are only layers of misunderstanding. Misunderstanding of yourself. All of your learned expectations are now being seen through. Your limited view. Think of this body-mind like a child. Okay, a child has a grasp of truth, but only a limited grasp. It's learning. And during that learning, it misinterprets. So you, as the great parent, the silence of your being, your innate wisdom, you are guiding that child that's got things slightly askew, and you're guiding them into truth. The mind is so quick to judge and get cross, wish itself away. Is the silence of your being judging anything? No. We could call you at this point a spiritual scientist. But in the true definition of a scientist. From love, from wisdom. And be willing to catch yourself. Be willing to be wrong. This is a subtle one, because in willing to be wrong is an aspect of the mind that feels I'm insignificant, I'm unworthy. Wrong gets translated as somehow bad. That's not what I mean. Be willing that misunderstanding has taken place. What space suddenly when you don't know? You see, to know who you are beyond manifestation is to know who you are in manifestation. You can't separate them. Very quickly a notion comes in that the personality is wrong and bad. Not true. You are beauty in the form of this one. What's happening?
Just a lot of energy moving. Sorry. Just a lot of energy moving through my spine and kind of out my limbs. It's just a feeling of surrender.
To sit in the presence of love is to be recalibrated, let's say. Let it all happen. You're being eaten alive. When you look from here, is anything wrong?
Not at all.
Okay. To look from here doesn't suppress anything. It actually brings it into full focus. That's why I say be willing to hurt, because the more you come to the heart, the more the mind is going to fight you. Let it have its voice momentarily, because you have your anchor. Your knowing. This knowing that you know without knowing how you know it. This knowing of pure love. With that knowing, you can enter that cave. That knowing is the light that's shining into the darkness and shining up all of the shadow, all of the details that have been hidden. The light itself, if you like, is causing that pain. But is the silence of your being feeling body pain, mental pain?
No.
Okay.
In the communication, there's just this seeing of the, I was speaking of that resistance around the body, just that, oh, but I don't want to go there, and just seeing that and recognizing that that's a wonderful indication that that's where to go.
Dive in. Dive into your fever. Dive into your belly pain. Talk to it. Open up a dialogue. That's you talking to you via your belly pain. It's all you. Speaking in so many different ways.
Thank you.
Thank you, my love.
Thank you for giving the opportunity. I have more a philosophical question. What is the reason that God sends his messenger, like you are one of them, and if I may believe all the notice boards, there are many of them, to tell us this message of the heart? Are we on the verge or on the edge of a new consciousness? And is that the reason? Because that's what, for instance, Sri Aurobindo writes in his books. Is it because the world is in crisis? And if so, from that new consciousness, if I can call it like that, should we then become activists to save the world? Or is the world not in danger at all, and we're just imagining it and the world can take care of itself? Could you please shine your light on those kind of questions?
The world does not exist without you. Who is the you that contains the world? That's why you were born, to know this you. Part of this journey is that there is a forgetting of this you. It might seem extraordinary that consciousness would manifest an aspect within itself that could forget itself. And yet, it would appear a vast evolution is at play. When you're in the presence of a being who is wholehearted, let us say, someone who is emanating the love that they are, you feel it. You feel what we call their presence, or presence. Imagine each form as the facet of a diamond. Consciousness is the diamond, each facet one of its children. If each facet comes into recognition of its inherent diamond nature, imagine the brightness of this diamond. Consciousness is evolving through its children, just like every parent. It's not inert. When you tune in and feel the vibration of your being, it's not inert. Alive. Intelligence with a capital I. But what is your knowing? If you stay in the realm of philosophy, you stay in the realm of ideas that are constantly subject to change and debate. What you are is beyond belief, in every sense.
That means all that matters is try to transform yourself, and it doesn't matter what happens around you. Is that what you mean to say?
I mean that everything that's happening around you, the collective turbulence, which I presume you mean, arises out of each being's misunderstanding of themselves. Every impulse, every thought, word, deed that comes from this one, that's not coming from the pure heart, is the war, is the tsunami, is the act of violence. You are the collective. That's the level of responsibility each one has to come to the heart. But to think that you have to change out there is a misunderstanding again. Think again of that one who is wholehearted and you feel their presence. How wonderful that more and more beings are coming to the heart and more posters are going up on the walls. Is that not the idea? The mind is quick to come in and say, oh no, that doesn't seem right. That's the point. To wake up to who you are. And some beings are playing the role in this mighty opera of being the ones who come forward to shine. Others are playing different roles until they too shine.
So to feel inward and try to live from the heart is much more important than any activism in the world.
Activism of the deepest kind will occur when you know who you are. You will emanate love, and beings will feel it and be transformed by it. What greater activism could there be? That's the real revolution. All the other revolutions are a misunderstanding. Again, it's like that child that's got a fragment of truth. It knows, those who are activists, let's say, know that something is wrong. They feel it. They feel that something has to change within the collective mind. But they're seeking outwards, first of all. And ultimately that will exhaust itself. This change first. Everything comes from you.
Thank you. And the second question that I had, is mankind on the edge of an evolutionary revolution, or is it just ongoing and there's not such thing?
What is your feeling?
My feeling is that it is.
Okay, that's all you need to know.
But I see many contradictions. I see the ancient land of India that always was the beacon of spirituality. They fall into the capitalistic trap now. And China as well. It's materialism, and maybe, I don't know, I have no answer to that, but
the misunderstanding here has been going on a great deal longer than the arrival of capitalism. Where there is absolute wisdom, there is also complete misunderstanding initially. It has to be that way, because where there is a bright light, all the misunderstanding is shown up. So it's a necessary part, let's say. Know your transformation. Take responsibility for your transformation. When you're looking from the eyes of the heart, the answers to these questions will emerge most naturally. Know the you that contains this world. And right now you can know this you. Don't put it off for another day. Can you put your hand here? Can you feel just the touch, first of all? Okay. Is it possible to feel space between hand and chest? Okay. Can you now let space look at me from under your hand?
Yes.
How is the view when you look from here? Look into my eyes as you speak.
It's very wide.
Okay.
There's more understanding of many things around, not so focused as you normally do when you speak from the mind-body consciousness. But I think I need to practice a little bit more to hold it.
It's okay. What a discovery, though.
Sorry?
What a discovery.
Yeah.
Now you are becoming conscious of consciousness. The vastness of you. You are a vast intelligence. And this simple practice, if we can even call it that, it's simply looking from the eyes of the heart. To look from the eyes of the heart is synonymous with tuning in to the fragrance of your being, to becoming aware of awareness. It's all the same words pointing to the same reality. To you. To love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the last few days, there's been a lot of intense stuff, and I wanted to share and just clarify. So, I had quite major surgery, pulling out a wisdom tooth a couple of days ago. And what I watched in the run-up to that was a lot of intense fear, really felt in the body. So I was able to look at that and see that that fear response was simply a response to memory and to thought. And when I listened to those thoughts of all the awful things that could possibly happen, this fear response came. And then I found myself asking how to know when these fears or these thoughts are intuition or when they're just mind created. And I found quite clarity with that, because there was a knowing that it was the right thing to have this tooth removed, and the fear was just a creation of the mind. So that was really, really powerful in the run up to that, to really be able to cut through that, even though it was very strong. And then during the process, which was...
Just bring the mic down just a little bit.
Thanks. Which was incredibly intense, but I just kept my hand here and was able to go through it. So, and then afterwards, it was really quite intense and quite brutal, the experience. And I watched afterwards, almost like the inquiry then became a bit of a mind trap of denying the feelings. So I kind of watched this, something say, oh no, you mustn't go into the story of it, you know. You mustn't go into the feelings of it. It's just the story. Let it go. But actually there was it was afterwards there was kind of in shock really, and felt incredibly vulnerable, and actually really quite affected by it, but watched how I was kind of almost stopping that expression of, and when I sat with friends in the evening, and they kind of just held me a little bit, and Eloise actually said, it feels like you really need to cry, and I was like, yeah, that's actually been felt for quite some time, that there's even before this, that there's some kind of constriction stopping that outpouring of emotion, and those tears. And again, yesterday in Satsang, I wanted to come up, and I let my mind talk me out of it yesterday, because it's like, well, you're not supposed to be speaking, and what happens if it releases and you're not supposed to move your mouth, and all of this. And then so I wanted to come up today to just kind of just reveal that and get anything deeper on it, because I don't want to block out the feelings and the depth of this from intellectualizing and rationalizing.
Well, I'm very happy you came up, because you got right to the roots of the misunderstanding at this time. The not wanting to feel, and the not feeling that you're allowed to feel. That's been part of a story for a long, long time, as we've said before. For thousands of years, we have deified the rational mind and silenced the feeling aspect. All part of a grand evolution, so nothing is wrong. But nonetheless, to feel, without the capacity to feel, you cannot know yourself. You can't conceptualize love. You can't be rational about beingness. This is the knowing that you can't contain. So the human capacity to empathize, the human capacity to feel emotion, is your profound stepping stone to knowing the God self. Because you feel love, you experience love, you know love. The feeling aspect, the reason why for many years we have silenced feeling, quite necessarily because there was a chapter when feeling overwhelmed beings, let's say. To simplify, let us say that the female capacity is to feel at very subtle level, and she can very easily become swamped, information overload. She can feel at very subtle level, and when I say she, I mean the feminine aspect within males and females. But when you get swamped, you become very identified. That aspect becomes each new feeling that comes along, gets totally plugged in, and can't see anything else but the feeling when they're feeling it. Okay? Yes, this is the definition of suffering. So part of our evolution was one day, about 10,000 years ago probably, okay, we're done with that chapter. Now we're going to have absolute rational mind. Let it have its time. The masculine gift is one-directional seeing, absolute precision, the arrow of truth. When that goes to an extreme, and we deaden all the layers within manifestation, then we deaden everything. We go to one extreme of the rational mind. Imagine the capacity of both aspects in absolute alignment. Can you see? All the layers within existence with absolute clarity in them.
I can kind of see, but I feel like when feelings when it's talked about, I feel like this smoke screen.
Yes. So now what's happening is consciousness is giving you a taste of what happens when you become thoroughly identified with feeling. Do you see? You're being shown all the capacities of this human existence, of what can happen when you become fully committed to being a person. Feelings aren't wrong. When you know who you are, you will still continue to feel. Simply you will not be swamped by them. You won't be determined by them. You won't be dependent on them. You don't suffer them.
I mean, as more openness has come in recent times, when feelings do come and are fully expressed, actually there's extreme gratitude for that, because it feels they've been so pushed away.
So let yourself feel at this time. Really feel. It won't always be that heightened. Again, this is letting the fever burn. Let it all come up and out. Whatever has been suppressed has to come out, otherwise it festers. Then it's released. Then you transcend. While this is occurring, and only while this is occurring, your task is to bring yourself back to here, to the witness of the feeling. Who is aware of every mood that you ever have? Who is watching this fear?
I am.
And can you touch this eye?
No, you can't touch it, but I can feel it. It's felt.
Okay. Is it male or female, this eye? No. The deeper eye has no form, no differentiation. And it contains all the differentiation. It's all you. The deeper you bathe in this deeper eye, the deeper you realize its vibrational reality, then you can begin to see all the different vibrations within the one vibration. It can't be separated. You can't actually separate your body-mind from the deeper eye. In the beginning, it feels necessary to say, I am not my thoughts, I am not my feelings, I am that which is prior. Yes. But in the deepest sense, it's all you. So taste all the aspects of you in this process. When you said, I can't remember the exact words, it was something like fear was just a play of my mind, a creation of my mind. As if it was somehow a throwaway and unimportant, an annoyance. But fear has just toppled you into the heart. Fear is you in the form of fear coming to get your attention.
I could see that opportunity, actually. That kind of felt like the opportunity, and actually calling this in.
And in fact, when you first told me that you were having your wisdom tooth out, and we had a little exchange about it, you knew exactly the wisdom of the wisdom tooth being pulled.
Yeah, I did. And it was that deep bit, that knowing, that intuition, which allowed the courage to do it, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you look from here, it's so exquisite. How the divine is speaking to you. What poetry. Philosophical wisdom is being extracted. It's got you thus far and it's served you well. And now you're going for gold. what to say. That's the precision of the divine pen. Each being has their own script, and when you look from here, it's magnificent.
One of the things that I felt on the morning, so I've been following the Course in Miracles, and it was one of the things it often repeated is, I am as God created me. And I was like, well, I was created with this wisdom tooth growing in at a funny angle that needed to be removed in this way. So there was obviously an opportunity in that, and was able to rest with that. So, yeah. Falling out of the old wisdom, let it go. Really happy to be sinking into the heart and into not thinking. I know.
Wonderful. Thank you, sweetheart. Hi.
The original question was...
Just need to switch it on, my love, I think. That's it.
The original question was around the me.
The me.
The me. The first thing that I felt that I wanted to come here is how can I get rid of the me? And you went, because you didn't pick me in the first time, it started to unfold into why is that the me is bothering me.
Why is the me bothering me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, I realized that being from here, there is no me. And I know that there is no me. But somehow it's there. And I think the reason why I cannot look from here all the time is because when the me comes, and I don't know really how to get rid of it, and I'm not, and I have the understanding, not even a mental understanding, I have inner understanding, and it still is there. And I'm tired to the point that I don't want it more doing. I'm trying to do some doing. I do some doing because, I can help it. But I really just don't want. I want to give it to someone. I missed my chance. I've been with Papaji for quite a while. At the time I wasn't ready,
Are you ready now?
I am ready.
Okay.
If you take it, I give it to you.
Okay. I've taken you. The little me is not your enemy. You're here to shine the greater me through this little me. Without this little me, you would not be able to do it. You would not be able to witness yourself. So, we don't need to give the me such a hard time. We do need to have clarity about it, though, to guide it back onto the true path. When you look from here, okay, now can you look at this little me from here?
It doesn't even exist.
It does and it doesn't.
I can't see it. From here, I cannot see it. The
Okay.
me from here is you.
Yes. Now what of this form that you're looking at? Now look at your body from here. How is that?
It's just a piece of meat.
Okay. Yes.
That it carries me around. I love it. I love it, no?
You love it?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
love this
yeah.
piece of meat?
Yeah, because it carries me around, bring me here.
Okay.
I can feel the sun, I can feel the hand, I can feel the kiss. It's a blessing.
Ah, okay. So all the different pieces of meat, they all have their unique details.
Yeah.
The one you receive a kiss from is different from this piece of meat, I'm sure. Do you understand what I'm saying? No.
Maybe I think we are the same.
Yes, of course. Within which there's all the complexity of form. Don't deny yourself in the form of this one. Why would you deny God's palette?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so it's not just a piece of meat. That's a very negative thing to say about this beautiful creation.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I love. Do you see how quick the mind is to judge? All these ideas that we have of what's spiritual and what's not, throw them out. Everything is spiritual, everything is you, everything is God. What you're really saying is that there are aspects within this little me that are still limited. Their view is still narrow. Okay, they can't see the whole picture yet. That's all. So your task is to bring that little me that has tiny eyes into these heart eyes that has the vast view. It's full understanding of everything. Then you can play.
How you do that?
Yes. Look from here. Look from the eyes of the heart. Right now, can you feel the space between your hand and your chest?
No. I see the space. I see that there is a space, but I feel my hand touching my chest.
Okay, so both is happening then? So the feeling is happening, the feeling of the touch is there.
Mm-hmm.
And you say you can feel the space between at the same time? What did you mean?
I know that it happened within the space, but I don't. If I am like this, I feel the space.
Okay.
If I am like this, I don't feel the space.
Okay, so close your eyes. Now can you feel as if your eyes are actually under your palm?
I miss it.
You miss it? It's
Yeah.
okay. Bring your focus into your palm. Okay, so now open your actual eyes, but look at me from here. What happens?
From here, there is love.
Okay. You are that. You are love in the form of this one. Now look at this little me from love.
It's a silly one.
It's a silly...
It's a silly one.
The little me is silly.
The little me is silly, yeah.
In what way? What's it
In
doing?
a way that believe there is something when it is not.
Okay. It's in misunderstanding. When you look from love, is love judging? That's it. Let everything sink. Only the mind is judging. The heart is absolute clarity, discernment. It knows what's right and true. It's not finger pointing. Nothing is bad from these eyes. There's only misunderstanding of the self. So what to do, in answer to your question, is when you leave here today, look at everyone and everything from these eyes and just see how it is. And then if you feel to, I'd love to hear back tomorrow. See if there is any difference with your interactions, with your experiences. Don't worry about little me, big me. Just look from love. That's your starting point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma, I'm so grateful to be here. I spent many decades trying to focus here, and this last year certainly the focus has been here, and I'm very, very grateful. So, is this the masculine way? I'm wondering, all this struggle to, rise above the heart in a sense, and yet my whole experience of life living has been from here. And my feeling with you has been this inner pull of the heart, this heart embracing or pulling in something that's so precious to me, life. And it really is the feeling of the heart right here. And will you clarify this other approach to this approach, which is so meaningful? I'm very grateful.
Some beings have expressed to me that they have spent years, they've had very direct seeings of what some will call the absolute. But because there is no stabilization, they spend many years in confusion. What does that mean, the absolute? We have these names for things. Know your grounding. Know the presence that you are. Become conscious of consciousness. The more you bathe in the awareness of yourself, eventually a question arises spontaneously from the being. The more I bathe in the I am that I am, the deeper I see that I am beyond both the I me and the I self. Which means I must be prior even to consciousness. That consciousness must be subtly phenomenal. Subtly something. Okay, we speak of consciousness as nothingness, and yet there comes a point of recognition. So who is this I that's witnessing even consciousness? Who is prior even to love? When this question comes, the answer accompanies it, because the question is the answer. There are no words for that. Simply you are beyond. And some may call that the absolute. And along with that, this that you speak of, the one directional seeing, somehow we can equate that with the absolute. all of the detail you've transcended. But that does not make detail wrong. In a subtle sense, it means that consciousness is secondary to the deeper I. We could call this the Holy Trinity. The I of the Absolute that gave birth to the I of consciousness that gave birth to the I of the ego you. But without knowing yourself as pure consciousness, you cannot have that stabilization in what you're calling the Absolute. Taste yourself fully. And this is how you taste. Bathe here. This isn't emotional heart. Okay. It's not even intuitive heart. Intuition comes and goes within you. Your capacity to be intuitive arises when you are bathing in you. All the answers to all your questions lie here and will arise from here. And you're feeling that. The paradox is, to know who you are beyond this form is to be more rooted in form. Then you can enjoy this form, be in it but not of it. To become conscious of consciousness is to know that this world does not exist without you, that you are living and dying in every moment within you. You are not located here in the center of your chest. Nonetheless, when you give yourself permission to use this form, you immediately transcend your form through it. This is an ever deepening. Even after what we could call full immersion, learning doesn't stop. Consciousness is not inert. Once you have transcended the person, there is still a person in appearance, and therefore vigilance will remain. You are that, and you are prostrate to that at the same time. What a mystery. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought the time would have gone by and I wouldn't have been able to ask my question. I have a question about fear. because fear has been reigning my mind for a long time. And thanks to my fear, I have realized who I really am. I have been able to feel, because I've been able to give my fear a form, I've realized what I'm not. And so I've been able to feel who I really am, what my soul is. And I can feel that form. But I am struggling, and I've been struggling for a long time to let go of this fear. And because I had the feeling that I've been patient with myself and given myself time to overcome this fear, and yet I have not. It always gets a grip on me again. And so now I feel like it's a fighting. I'm trying to fight to be who I really am, and I know I shouldn't fight, because that is not love.
Is the fear of something specific?
Yes. The changing of the body.
Yes. This is the root fear for all beings, because the changing of the body means the loss of the body, ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
We are absolutely terrified of change and addicted to it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The one who is beyond fear is unchanging. Know the you that doesn't die, that doesn't change. You don't have to try and get rid of fear as such. Let go of fear. You can't actively let go of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That happens as a natural result of being heart-centered. Can you put your hand just here? Allow that this fear is beyond even this person's story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the fear. Because as long as you feel like you're a person separate from all other persons, you'll be isolated and alone and in a position of fear. You must self-protect. And it's the same for all beings until they realize their origin. Until they realize the one that contains all of those yous, all of those details. The formless you. So right now, you just feel the touch there. Now you're focusing on form. Is it possible to feel space between hand and chest?
I think so.
Can you feel it? You can't think it. You can feel it or not feel it.
Yes.
Okay. Is it limited to between hand and chest?
Yes.
Tell me about that. Does it feel like it's constrained?
It's not a big space.
Okay, so just dive into that space. Whatever is there, dive into it and be it. Melt into that space.
Something is holding me back in my body.
What does it feel like?
It feels like I'm trying to dive in, but I can't jump.
Can you look at me right now from that little bit of space under your palm? Is it possible?
Yes.
How does it feel?
I feel like I have no security and I don't know where I am and who I am.
Yes. The no security comes from not knowing anything. The not knowing anything is neutral, but the having no security is fear about not knowing anything. Allow yourself to not know anything. This is the fear of absolute surrender, the fear of having no control anymore. Yeah, the hands of fingernails are gripped tightly onto this existence. It's okay.
And so do I just go with that and continue doing that because I feel through my fear I am damaging myself?
Mm-hmm. It's in every moment. It's in the details of your daily life. If you're trying to deal with one big chunk of fear, impossible. You have to take each moment as it comes. Are you being sincere with each interaction? Are you being truthful? How do you know love?
Because I can feel it at times, and I can feel I'm being my true self at times.
What does that mean, your true self?
Being love, being one.
Okay, but how do you know that?
Because I feel everything letting go. I feel I could be anything. I am everyone. I am.
Okay, so the key word here is you feel. You can't think it, you can't work it out, you can't learn it. You know it without knowing how you know it.
Yes.
Okay, it's more familiar to you than your own skin.
Yes.
Right.
It feels like home.
Okay. You are in the process of fully coming home, and that means in the process you're going to have to allow the mind its fight. It's washing you out of you. It's going to have fear. That fear will topple you even deeper into the heart. There will be moments when it feels like you've just gone 100 paces backwards. Yes. Let them happen. They're doing their job. All those layers of misunderstanding in this one. What happens is the mind is so impatient. It also feels that something is wrong, that you're not getting it, that you're not doing something right, that it should be this way. No. What grace that you found yourself here, that you're unraveling already, that you have this knowing has presented itself to you so clearly. To come back to that knowing, very simply bring your hand here and look from the eyes under your palm. You said, I don't know anything, I don't know who I am. Sink in, I don't know who I am. Is that possible?
Yes.
How does it feel?
Feels right.
Okay. Can you feel the difference between I feel a lack of security, like the first voice that jumped in? What's the vibrational difference?
I feel calm. I feel peace.
And the one that said I feel a lack of security, what does that feel like?
Very tight, very strict, very...
Wow. What wisdom. So there was an expansion and a contraction almost at the same time.
But that's what always happens. I always get these kind of two things, and fear is always the stronger one.
As we sit now, the I don't know has become the stronger one. You've sunk into it. Slowly, slowly, have patience. This isn't going to happen overnight. You're a complex mechanism and you're being unraveled. It's a beautiful unraveling, in fact. But this one that doesn't know, can you view the one who feels insecure from the one who doesn't know? How is that?
I feel like I'm a baby who has the joy to discover the whole of the world.
Okay. So live as that baby. This baby is very wise. It contains all the answers to all your questions. It has no demand. It has no need. It has no expectation. It doesn't mind. Within which a needy little baby will pop up from time to time. Okay? Let her. This is your learned baby. But the deeper baby that's not a he or a she, the one you don't know who it is, this one's always there. Untroubled. Be where your heart sings. Many beings have to take themselves initially to someone or something or somewhere where they feel that love emanating. It might be a church, it might be a field, it might be a special place where you go and sit, or a person. Wherever you feel that you know emanating, bathe there for now.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you.